Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I am playing some Selesnya Rabbits in Standard, best of one, trying to climb up to Diamond. Now the reason I'm playing this deck is because somebody went back 2 months ago to the last time I played Rabbits, and they requested me to play a more updated version of the deck, and well, here it is. Now at that time we were experimenting with the Lumen class frigate, a card that of course never really made it into Standard, even though some people were trying to force it. It's okay, it's not great. Anyways, I'm going to run over the deck briefly, and then we're going to hop into some games as usual. Before I do that, if you could continue to help the channel grow, subscribe up, and do leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this deck. Also, hit that like button because it's the easiest thing to do. Now, this deck, you know what it is, right? We have really great one drops. The Valley Might Caller and the Paw Patch Recruit are excellent on turn one. Paw Patch doubles up with the Offspring ability to be a great 3-drop as well. We are down to 2 copies of the Seasoned Warren Guard because although this is a pretty good card, it doesn't really stack up to the other options we have in the deck. The 2 slot is full of great things. We have our Lord, the Valley Quest Caller, Beauregard Mentor, which gets out of control very quickly, and of course, 3 copies of Phineas. I am up to 3 copies instead of 2 copies. I think this card just does so much for the deck. It is a little bit vulnerable, especially with the amount of burst lightnings that are running around in the meta. So I want to have 3 copies so I can try to stick one of these on the field. In the 3 slot, we're playing Hop to It because, well, we want to put a whole bunch of creatures on the field to benefit from our Valley Quest Caller or to buff up our Valley Might Caller. Then in the 4 slot, we are playing 2 copies of the Warren War Leader because this is a pretty cool card. In the past, I think I kind of didn't appreciate it as much as I do now, but it is super good because whenever you attack, you don't have to attack with the War Leader, you can attack with any creature, you get one of these 2 abilities. We can flood out the field a little bit more, or we can pump up our creatures. But I haven't gone all in on the Valley War Leader because we are instead playing 2 copies of Ouroboroid. And Ouroboroid is an interesting addition to this deck. This deck goes super wide, especially with cards like Hop to It. A Hop to It on 3, follow it up with an Ouroboroid on turn 4. Well, things get out of control very quickly. The cute things in the deck, we are playing a little bit of removal, of course, Shelter by Ghost. This is the card that's actually making this a very good card in the meta against some other decks. Let's take a quick look at what our matchups are actually like right now. According to Untapped, this is looking at the Selesnya Rabbits archetype, not specifically our deck, but pretty good matchup apparently against Dimir Midrange and the Mono Blue Tempo. I think we can kind of just run them over a little bit quicker than they can respond to our things. And then mono red aggro, pretty good matchup, and I think that's probably because our creatures get quite big. Getting up to 4 or 5 toughness very quickly can make it very hard for the mono red aggro deck to deal with. And then as soon as we land a Sheltered by Ghost, what are they going to do about that? As you go down a little bit more, we have some decent matchups, and then we start hitting the bad stuff. The bad stuff is going to be the control matchups, matchups that are bringing in Day of Judgment or whatever other board wipe. We are very vulnerable to that, and I think the kind of main game plan is to hope they don't have it and to just try to run them down as quickly as we can. Of course, we can try to play around it, but this is best of one. Best of one is kind of throwing caution to the wind a lot of the time. And as you go down, we see another one that's actually probably a bigger problem for us, Jeskai Control. This might be the, the big one. Jeskai Artifacts is the big one. When they are throwing out the Star Cage, there's very little we can do about that. However, I have put another card in the deck, and I am kind of experimenting with it. That is Dawn's Truce. It's a 2 CMC card that says you and permanents you control gain hexproof until the end of turn. This is kind of interesting. I think I haven't run into it yet, but in theory, this should allow us to stop some of the mill abilities, because I think when they exhaust that mill artifact, they have to target us. So if we can have Dawn's Truce at the ready, we can maybe blow them out in some games. But more importantly, if we gift a card, we can give all of our permanents indestructible. So if we're running into a turn 4, turn 5 board wipe, we have one of these in hand, but we've established a pretty nice boards on turn 1 and 2 and 3. Well, hold up the Dawn's Truce, and that might be able to sway a game. And then the last card to talk about, of course, is the Seam Rip, which is just an all-star in the format right now. If you're playing white, you should be playing Seam Rip because it's great. The lands are nothing really to talk about. It's what you would expect. Selesnya mana, a little bit sketchy right now, so we are playing everyone's favorite card, Multiversal Passage, but we are playing one copy of the Oak Hollow Village, which will allow us to pump up our creatures if we're flooding out, and one copy of the Lupin Flower Village. That lets us go and get something, again, if we're flooding out. So that's what the deck looks like. I think, yeah, it plays very well, as it always does. There are some flex spots available in the deck for you to modify it to your liking, but the general core of Might Caller, Recruit, Mentor, Quest Caller is fantastic. Everyone knows it's a pretty cool deck. So we're going to hop into some games. I said it again. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to stop saying it and see how this one plays out. All right, game number 1. So it's been about a week since the ladder restarted. How has your ladder climb been going? I'm very curious to know what everyone's playing, what is working for you, what isn't working for you, and what kind of frustrations you're all running into. Opening hand looks pretty great. We are going to be dropping this Paw Patch on turn 1. Multiversal Passage, yeah, we can run it out later. I always love saying this, saving this for turn 3, but of course on turn 1 with the Valley Quest Caller is going to be perfectly fine, and then hopefully we hit a nice 3 CMC card. A little unfortunate that it looks like our opponent is probably going to be on some form of control. It might actually be Jeskai Artifacts. I haven't been running into Jeskai Artifacts very much at all. In fact, playing over the last couple days, this is, I believe, the first time I've run into it. Isn't that the way it goes? You are running pretty well, and then as soon as you hit that record button, and I've said this a couple times before now, I'm probably starting to sound like a broken record, things go real bad for you. But the opponent having a little bit of a slow start, they do hit their 3rd land, but only an Authority of the Consuls. Oh, a spring-loaded Sawblade is so good for the opponent. We do have the Restless Prairie sitting here, so if we keep drawing a whole bunch of land like we are drawing, that might be our only hope. Okay, opponent gains a little bit of life. We get a Phineas on the top of our deck, which I think is going to be okay to keep. We will attack in, and the trigger from the Warren is going to be a 2/2 Rabbit. They do gain 1 life from the Authority of the Consuls when it enters, but not too bad. Even if they have the Star Cage, Pinnacle Star Cage, it's not going to hit our War Leader. We can actually War Leader. Oh, it's so good against us. Wow. Okay, they seem to be stuck at 3 mana. So do I want to... Okay, I got to read what this says. This land becomes a 3/3 green and white llama creature. Okay, whenever this land attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+1. So it'll be 5 damage. We have 10 damage. So I think instead of doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to play out the Phineas. We're going to force them to have... Ooh, we wanted something better than that. We're going to force them to have some kind of answer, and then at least we have the llama to come in if they end up hitting us with the Pinnacle Star Cage. If they only have a Perilous Snare or another Sawblade, they're probably toast. They need to have the Star Cage here. They only have the Perilous Snare. We get them. Okay, good start against one of our absolute worst matchup is this matchup, and we get them. How awesome is that? Load up the creature land, slam in for a comfy 10 damage, taking down Katahane. Game 1 in the bank. All right, let's keep going. Climbing up to Diamond. Oi, game number 2 as I plug some electronics in here. We are on the draw, but we got good early plays. We have also our Seam Rip, so the opponent, if the opponent is on a creature-based deck, we're going to be laughing. If they are on artifacts, what? How is it possible? Okay, you know what? Let's just take a little bit of damage. I'm going to put this out on white. I'm going to put out my Seasoned Warren Guard to start off with. Is this real life? Am I really going to run into back-to-back control? Okay. Okie doke. So we got the Valley Might Caller. Very good play later on. I think we will just go out with the Hushword Verge and probably this one. By the way, we have climbed over 1.2K subscribers, and I haven't mentioned that yet. Thank you. Man, it's great to see all these new people coming in. I really appreciate all the support that the channel's getting. It's cool to see everybody joining up. All right, 3 steps ahead. Our opponent, cool guy. So we take them down to 19, and we have 2 Scene Rips that, although, I mean, the Scene Rip can get a little bit of value, which I may try to go after this time around. So let's play out the Valley Quest Caller, and then I'm going to try to hit the Scene Rip. No more lies, of course. Still, I'm going to go after the Scene Rip, I guess. I don't know. I suppose I could have gone out with the Valley Might Caller, because it would have grown if this Warren Guard came in later on. We'll see. Okay. What are the chances that this Ouroboroid survives? 0? 0. So let's just throw down the Valley Might Caller. They may have another No More Lies for us. We would have had the 3 mana to pay for it. We'll keep chipping away at them. We have to be conscious of the Restless Anchorage that they have up here. I don't want to highlight it because that'll tell them that I know about it. Maybe a little bit of mind game stuff for y'all. If you start hovering over cards, people are like, oh, he's hovering, you know, they're hovering over these cards. They must know something's up. All right, another Seam Rip from the opponent. Oh. Okay. Well, as much as this pains me, man, I'm just walking into a board wipe, right? So do I just take back my... Yeah, maybe we just go Seam Rip again, try to get some value out of this, and then we have the Paw Patch Recruit as a backup for later on. They can also make fish. I'm going to highlight this one because I want to see. The fish will be for 3 mana, so that's probably what they're doing. I'm going to highlight this because I don't know what it does. Okay, it is going to be 3 mana. It's a 3/3, so I'm only going to go in with the Mentor because I don't want to throw away my Warren Guard yet, which I may have put it at risk attacking on the previous turn. I think we're pretty done. This is a really tough matchup, especially if we can't start finding some lands. Really? Wow, that's brutal. That's brutal. Okay, opponent, huge heads-up play from the opponent. I mean, you got to hand it to them. That was actually pretty sweet. I guess I go out with the Paw Patch and hope that they don't find more removal for us, but odds are that we probably won't be able to attack. Are they just going to attack in with the Restless Anchorage? Okay, create a map token. Are they desperately digging? No. That seemed like a sketch play, so you know what? Let's try. Ouroboroid to the field doesn't resolve. Oh, it does resolve. Do they have removal for it? It pumps everything up. We attack in for quite a bit of damage. They can't make a fish. They can draw a card, though. All right, so it all depends on what they end up finding off the top 2 cards of their library. They turn on the Anchorage. No way. They have 4 mana still available to them. They draw a card. Did they literally... They didn't have anything? That's crazy that we... All right. All right. How amazing. To start off going against our worst 2 matchups and to actually take wins against the odds. All right. Surely our next matchups are going to be more favorable, right? Game number 3 against John. All right, John, what do you got? Are you also playing Azorius? Seems to be the thing of the day. Opening hands are looking really good for us, and we're on the play this time around, so that's what you want to see when you are playing Rabbits. best of one on the play, just slam them all down. And you play thematically appropriate lands. That's the other thing you need to be doing. Okay, John has finally shown up, I think. We will pay the 2 life. We're running it out. So turn 1, Valley Might Caller into a turn 2 Phineas, into a turn 3 potential hop to it, and that's some sus matchmaking, isn't it? A friend and I were actually just talking about when you know that idea of like you go and you get a burn deck, and then immediately you only face life gain, or you switch to a control thing and you never find whatever, you always get these unfavorable matchups, and my counter argument to it was, well, let me look at all the games that I played on Untapped. You know what? There's such a variety of matchups that I face. I don't see this being a real thing. But then, what's going on here? Unfortunately, our Valley Quest Caller did not resolve. That would have been really nice to have on the field, because it would have given us a potential scry, and I think it would have probably allowed us to draw a card with the Phineas, because I think Phineas says, no, power 10. They blast our poor Phineas with a Lightning Helix. And hopefully they're not just building up to a Day of Judgment, because, well, obviously that's going to hurt. Stocking up. So we have a little bit of an opening here. How much damage am I going to be putting on the opponent if I'm able to do this hop up? It's going to be plus another 6 damage. 6 plus the 5 is only 11 damage, if my math is right. What do you think? What do you think? Right now, leave a comment. Is the Day of Judgment coming? Is it coming? Let me know. Take the opponent down to 3. I can't look. Oh, I don't want to look. They always have it, right? Although, last game, didn't have it. Yes! Can you believe that? With Rabbits, 3-0 against Control. Should really just end the video right there. There's no way we're going to keep running this hot and the opponent's running that badly. We get to go first. We have the Valley Might Caller, and we have some sketchy Shelter by Ghost. But let's say our opponent is playing red and they drop turn 1 Hired Claw. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try. Just because I know how powerful this set of cards can be against the right matchup. As long as it's not... Okay, that's not great, but we did hit the hop to it, which is going to be a very good turn 3. And then if we can hit a land for our turn 4 Warren War Leader, we will be laughing. Our opponent doing something funky, a gold saucer, weapons manufacturing. So, there's the land for our Warren War Leader. I could take the weapons manufacturing, or I could just hop to it, and I think it's got to be a hop to it, because this is going to give me 4 damage this turn, and then on the following turn, I'm going to be getting in with the... I'm going to drop the Warren War Leader, and then everything's going to be getting +1/+1. That's a lot. Oh, okay. So the weapons manufacturing is going to be pretty good, because they're going to be able to start blasting our stuff if they're able to use these munitions. Wow, they're going to take out 2 of our creatures here. So the opponent, kind of on a control build, this is not great for us. If I'm going to lose to somebody that's playing a ton of removal, I'm glad it's a weapons manufacturing deck, but that hurts. So in this case, do I just want to start making more babies? I think so. Yeah, let's start making more children. And then on, sorry, hitting the microphone. Hopefully that didn't make any sound. Then on following turns, maybe Shelter by Ghost to try to take the weapons manufacturing to stop them producing a whole bunch of stuff. I kind of feel like they're playing white. They might also be playing Starcage Pinnacle. So we got to be conscious of that. A Tezzeret. I'm not too afraid of a Tezzeret. They're at 11 life. We're presenting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. If they, well, they're going to remove, man, they're going to remove the Warren War Leader? That sucks. How do I get rid of this? As an additional cost to cast this spell slot, when this artifact, it has Ward 2. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, we need to get back that Warren War Leader, I think. I don't think I have really much of a choice here. So I will pay the Ward 2. Yep. And at the very least, I get to attack in for 2. I don't think I'm going to attack here. Search your library for an artifact cost that costs 1. You know what? I got to put it here because what they're going to do is they're just going to take the... Yeah, we'll do that. They're just going to -3 it to try to get another Dusk Rose Reliquary to take the Warren War Leader one more time, and I can't let the Warren War Leader survive. Unbelievable from the opponent. They have so much good interaction against us. I mean, I guess I had this coming. I got so lucky with the last couple games, and now they're just going to feast on our board. Okay, that's not bad. Unfortunately, I can't... Everything I want to put this Shelter by Ghost onto is so vulnerable. So is it just better for me to play the Valley Quest Caller and the Warren Guard and then save the Sheltered by Ghost for the next turn? Hit them for 2 this turn. Or do I really want to get this back? I think I like this plan better. This is going to give me 1 Scry. And this Warren Guard is actually pretty powerful. I don't think I want a Seam Rip. The Seam Rip's pretty good. But I think I'd rather have that Forest that's probably actually on the top of my deck now. I shouldn't be jinxing myself. A Legion Extruder to hit our 2/2, maybe? Okay. They still don't seem to have a way of sacrificing... Oh, a Phineas. Okay. So, Phineas gives me... I think I want the Mike Caller. Or the, War Leader, whatever it's called. Getting names all mixed up. Okay. Ward 2. Man, Dust Rose is really hard to get rid of. Who would have thought that we'd sit here fighting over that? I have to read this card. Whenever this creature attacks while you control... Oh, another Shelter by Ghost. Okay, we're going to keep the Shelter by Ghost on the top because they might have the Pinnacle Starcade. I still think that's a thing that could happen. If I attack, is it going to order... Hang on, gameplay, auto order. I think I want this to go... Yeah. Is it going to... Okay. I want the 1/1 Rabbit, right? Whenever this creature attacks while you... Oh, I guess I would have needed it to be on the field as a condition. I wasn't paying attention because I was too busy thinking about other stuff, and now they're making a 3/3 Golem to get our Quest Caller. I'm so dumb. There were too many moving parts, and then... Yeah. Did I just throw? Maybe. This poor fella keeps getting stuck in that box. Poor little rabbit. Let him out. Okay. Ah, that was dumb. I didn't even consider that the Legion Extruder was on the field and that they could really wombo us with all these extra munitions on the field. So I gotta be... Oh, okay. So again, they can make another 2/2. They can hit our Seasoned Warren Guard. It's so bad for us. And I can't even put the Shelter by Ghost on something because anything that I target with the Shelter by Ghost now is going to get smacked by the Legion Extruder. All right, we're done. I think the opponent has beaten us, and I'm just going to scoop it up because they're just going to constantly ping anything that we have. And yeah, that was rough. Maybe if I would have been able to keep the Lord on the field, I could have felt better about that, but I completely missed that they were able to make a 3/3 golem. That's cool. Weapon manufacturing, lots and lots of interaction. I feel like such a bonehead when I make those idiotic plays. Like, obviously, mistakes happen around here regularly, but when you have one of those ones that's like so bad. But when you're sitting here just running your mouth, and yeah, it's just bound to happen. So we got good lands. Do I want to hold? I think I'm going to throw away the Dawn's Truce. It might work. I think it's, who knows if it's going to be a beneficial thing for us, though. So turn one, let's get this Paw Patch Recruit onto the field. We might actually be, speaking of Dawn's Truce, hey, look at that. We might be against Landfall. It is Landfall. So who is faster, us or Landfall? The thing is, if we draw a land, we are going to be able to go turn 3, hop to it, turn 4 Ouroboroid, and I'm not sure being on the draw, they're going to be able to keep up. Unless they drop a Hydra here. If they have the turn 3 Hydra, they don't have the Hydra. But they do now have a 4/4 Bristly Bill that I have to make sure doesn't destroy me. The Beauregard Mentor is going to be able to go over this Bristly Bill, though, probably. Okay. Sure. 4 damage. You got it. Land, please. 2 draws to get a land. We hit the land. All right. So we're cooking here. Hop to it. This is almost the ideal 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously, that you want to see in this deck. I would say the only thing better would be that you have the Frog on turn 1 over the Paw Patch Recruit. There's the Hydra. But are they going to get in with the Bristly Bill? I think they don't go in with the Bristly Bill this time. Actually, we might just die on the following turn. I kind of would have preferred to have the Shelter by Ghost off the top there to get rid of the Hydra. Because if they have any way of doubling up... If I attack with everything, they block here. They block here. How much damage am I getting through? 11? So, hang on. I gotta make sure. If I just attack all out, this is trample. So they can only block 3 things. This also has trample. So this is 16 points of damage coming through. If they block here and they block here, that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, right? Am I missing something? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's not lethal. They would have to block Paw Patch and... No, even then it's not lethal. So is it safer for me just to stay back and not lose something? And then if I have to, I can put these 2/2 mice or rabbits in front of the Mossborn Hydra, try to mitigate some of the damage that they might get through. If they have a fetch land, though, they're going to go... What do they go up to? 5, then 10, and then 11, 22. Snakeskin Veil, that's bad. That would have been... Okay. So I don't think I had lethal there. Ooh, no. Traveling Chocobo, no land. Okay, that's a land. Yeah, I think we're super toast, right? It doesn't matter. I could put everything in front of it. And they just had 100 damage. Okie doke. That sucks. Go through the motions, block it up, but it is too much damage to deal with. Just barely. Just barely. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked. Who knows? A little bit of a rough one, them having the better 2-3-4 against us. Those 2 losses, usually I don't feel too bad about losses, but those 2 felt bad. Something about them. Maybe just getting hit by landfall always feels bad. All right, opening hand, a little sketch, but maybe this Phineas will end up getting removed and we have the backup Ace Archer. We do have a good 1, 2, 3 though, because we go out with the Recruit, then the Phineas, and then the Offspring Recruit, something that's pretty awesome. If you get... man. Wow, what is going on today? Why am I queuing into the nastiest things? And they pitched the Sawblade. Pitching the Sawblade means... I was going to say that they have a Pinnacle Star Cage, but it might also just mean that they have Sawblade and Pinnacle Star Cage. All right, we're going to put this out on white, and I think you play to assume they don't have it. If they have it, they have it. What am I going to do? It worked out the first couple times. Phineas, putting +1/+1 counters on both of these rabbits, pretty powerful. And then next turn, so is this deck actually like only going to beat control and not beat landfall and weapons manufacturing? I don't know. One more. Nothing makes any sense whatsoever, and I can't imagine what Just Say our opponent has in store for us, because the way things have been rolling out, we'll try this hand. I want to try Dawn's Truce. The way things have been rolling out, our opponents are going to have the weirdest things against us. We did draw the Seam Rip, so if they have a turn 2 nasty thing, we are... I guess this is appropriate, that the final boss is the most degenerate deck in the format. I'm going to go out with the Phineas. I think Phineas on turn 2 into the hop to it on turn 3 is the better play overall. Multiversal Passage, sure. I don't think... Oh, they do have interaction. Cash Grab. No, just that. Of course, the bringer of the Last Gift, everybody's favorite card, finding its way into their graveyard, as it does. And do they have the turn 4 Kavaro? Human Kavaro. All right. Degenerate trash. Good enough. Not satisfied with that last game. I'm not going to go out with an opponent that mills into their perfect hit and then has their 4 mana Kavaro on turn 4. I'm not gonna go out on that. Nope. Instead, we're gonna find Lifelink. So let's put that out, and our Valley Might Color. Next turn, we can Seam Rip their Ajani's Pridemate. Don't they always have it? The opponent with some... Ooh, interesting. Well, we draw a very good card there, but we definitely need to find... Do I want to Paw Patch Seam Rip, or do I want to... Yeah, let's do that. Huh. A little bit confused about what's going on here. We need to find some lands, obviously. We get to get in here probably for 2. It seems like they have something. What? All right. Well, I'm just going to consider that a removal spell so that I can cope. Who's playing Resolute Reinforcements in their Hinterland Sanctifier deck? I don't know. All right, hop to it. The only way we get through this game now is if we hit the 4th land. We hit the 4th land for the Ouroboroid. Then we go follow-up turn with the War Leader, and we'll be really cooking against this very unusual deck from the opponent. No blocks. I will take 3 damage. That's fine. I'm not going to risk anything, and we nail it. Let's see if they have removal. Okay. I don't know what's going on. This is the most... All 8 of these games have been so confusing to me. We have control decks conceding and not having the insane thing that they almost always do. Yeah, let's just do this. It's fine. And then we have... I don't know. I just don't know. Everything's so weird. The control decks that are conceding, we have weapons manufacturing that's running like a well-oiled machine. Kavaro's just doing Kavaro things. And then this thing, I'm not even sure what this deck is. Are we... You know what would be perfect? Day of Judgment right here. That would be the ultimate mind mess. That last card that they have is Day of Judgment. Okay, thank goodness. I'm losing my mind here. We get out with it. All right, 8 games, 5-3. I'll take that. All right, Selesnya Rabbits, still very good deck. This is also pretty close to what I would like to be playing if I were sticking with this deck. I think Ouroboroid is a great addition to this deck. It's not too hard to play out, although you do have pretty questionable mana in Selesnya right now, even having 2 green, 2 white pips on the requirements on our 4-drops didn't seem too clunky, so overall probably it's fine. I'm still not sold on Dawn's Truce because I haven't cast it yet. It just hasn't shown up. So maybe it is too cute because I have played now probably something like 20 games with this deck. I'm not sure. Let's go check. Wouldn't you know, exactly 20 games, 10 games with the Dawn's Truce is what I have played with this deck so far. And the deck is performing quite well. We are at a 64% win rate, 18-10. I don't mind that. Since I changed some things up, 50%, maybe Dawn's Truce is not the truth.
Okay, editor Matt here. I have no idea what that guy was seeing on the screen because all of those numbers were completely wrong. It wasn't exactly 20 games, it was 28 games, 18 wins, 10 losses. Great job, guy. And we played 18 games once Don's Truce came in, 12 wins, 6 losses for 67% win rate. Again, I have no idea what numbers were going through that guy's head.
But I still think maybe there is some room for that card in this deck. I don't hate it because I think the flexibility of the card is quite great. I just need a little bit more time playtesting it. If I did take this out, what would I be putting in? Maybe I would add another Warren Guard and maybe another Seam Rip to have a little bit more removal so we can deal with early game threats from the opponent and then have maybe a little bit more aggression from our side. Overall, with the Rabbits, certainly what you want to be doing is just make a wide board and swing in. And it might be worth it to just say, you know what, if they have the Day of Judgment, if they have the Pinnacle Star Cage, that's just it. Let's move on to the next game and take out the opponent that is not playing that kind of interaction because this deck can go super wide, super tall, and just kind of run over whatever the opponents are doing if they're doing something fair. The game plan against Kavaro is just accept that you're going to lose against Kavaro. We're not going to be playing Graveyard Hate in this deck. If they have the turn 4, they have the turn 4. Otherwise, just put out your stuff, try to kill them before they can find their pieces. And you know what? It probably works like 30 to 40% of the time. And the other, another 10 or 20% of the time, they're just a little bit too slow. They want to get their Kavaro out on turn 5, turn 6. Hey, you might get a win there. And then sometimes 30, 40% of the time, they just have it on turn 4. You just accept it, you move on. It is what it is. Anyways, Rabbits, still very cool, very good deck. You can definitely climb to Mythic with this deck if you stick with it and learn some of the ins and outs of it and those flex spots in the deck that I have mentioned before. Yeah, change them out, try some stuff, and see what works for you. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care for now. Saranghe ipana, and bye-bye.